I just wanna ride my bike, yeah. I'm just sick of always watching the news. I just wanna go outside, yeah. Spend a weekend way up top with a view.
Darn Tough Vermont. Their socks, as well as their business, are both pretty darn tough. I actually never heard of this company until my friend Nolan, a big hiker, he brought it up to me, and yeah, shout out to him. Hope you're doing well. I'm glad because it's a pretty great company and has an interesting background. So Darn Tough is a brand which is made by Cabot Hosiery Mills Incorporated. So this is pretty similar to let's use Apple iPhones as an example. Apple don't make the physical devices. Foxconn does, so similar, but Darn Tough and Cabot Hosiery Mills are much more closely related. So yeah, Darn Tough is headquartered in Cabot Hosiery Mills, Northfield, Vermont, founded by Marc Cabot, hence the Cabot Hosiery Mills name. In 1978, Marc had previous experience in the textile industry, working as a textiles sales rep in Riverdale, New York. When the opportunity presented itself, he purchased the mill in Northfield, Vermont, and to this day, it has been a family-run business. Marc's son, Ric Cabot, joined the company in 1989, and to this day remains the CEO and president of the company. The Cabot family is no stranger to being in the sock business. They are 3 generations in and still strong. So it's pretty hard to gauge the current size of the company right now because they were doing a lot of expansion and growth in the 2015 to 2019 timeframe. And then, yep, this pandemic, and yeah, like most businesses, they were forced to downsize. But generally speaking, the company was still relatively tight-knit at around 200 employees. They have expanded about 100,000 square feet in the recent years, with the hope of hiring more employees in 2015. Early on, Cabot Hosiery Mills made socks for other companies, much larger companies like Old Navy, Gap, and Banana Republic. They made these private labels and supplied these brands. And in 2003, when their clients, these big retailers, decided to outsource to foreign labor to make a cheaper product, and it was just a race to the bottom price at that point, and thus affecting Cabot in a negative way. A large portion of their revenue just vanished, and they were in debt, and they were in trouble financially. So in any case, at the time, they had to downsize and reduce employee benefits and hours. So Cabot had to pivot and do something quick, and that's where Darn Tough and the label / brand was born. Early PR for the company included Ric Cabot giving out 3,500 pairs of socks to the masses during a local marathon. That's pretty smart. And the name Darn Tough is a reference to the quality of their socks as well as the company's endurance through its tough times in the early 2000s. Ric stated in an interview that it is the harder it is, the tougher it is, the better it is. If it's easy, what's the point? Yeah, that definitely holds true. Today, to put things in perspective, a large portion of the U.S., about 60 to 75%, they wear foreign-produced socks, which puts Cabot in a very niche category, furthering this challenge. Because of the foreign labor, it makes producing things much cheaper for the competitors, but they also, in return, they get a lower quality, good, in massive volumes. So this forced Darn Tough to do the exact opposite, producing the highest quality at a lower volume and selling at a more premium price. It's kind of like a gourmet cookie. You can have 100 cheap or nasty cookies, but yeah, you want the good one, right? You'll enjoy the one really, really delicious cookie. And the main differentiating factor of Darn Tough products is made in the USA, made in Vermont. Their fit, durability, use of merino wool. Yeah, there's other competitors that use merino wool, but they don't have the lifetime warranty that Darn Tough has. Darn Tough has a unique lifetime warranty. It's pretty simple. You fill out a form online, ship the cleaned but battered socks to Darn Tough, and they will email you a credit where you can order a new pair. And the only things that aren't covered if a dog bit through your sock, they were burned, or they were lost in the laundry. According to one of my sources, again, all of the links in the show notes, only about 0.003% of sales are actually returned to the customer via lifetime guarantee. So if a company had 10 million in revenue, they would only lose about 30K per year to uphold their promise of the unconditional lifetime guarantee. And so let's do 30,000 divided by, let's say, $25 for a pair of socks. That's only about 1,200 socks, which is not bad. Not bad, right? Some unique culture that I have found is just their attitude. It's one family, one mission, one mill. Still family owned today. They design and manufacture, sell, and promote the most comfortable and best fitting socks, and everything is done locally. Because this is a really great quote that I like from Ric Cabot. Nobody ever outsourced anything for quality. So yeah, their mission is just to create the best sock in every category that they do: outdoor, casual, lifestyle, and yeah, just guaranteed for life. It's very, very prominent with their branding. It's simple and it's memorable, and we'll touch on that later. But Darn Tough also has some really great values. They have 9, and I'll just read them out. So we are direct, straightforward, and truthful. We value honesty and a hard day's work. We are penny foolish and pound wise. We are tough, independent, and respectful. We value families. We value differences. We wear it on our sleeves. We are authentic. We have yet to produce our best sock. I really like their values. It just has it fits very well with just their brand and everything about the company. And I really love we have to produce our best sock, or we yet have to produce our best sock, because they're always just in a continuous, like a Kaizen mentality of just continuous improvement. And speaking of continuous improvement, their commitment to sustainability. They design durability so their products last longer and have to be replaced less often. And if needed, Darn Tough has you covered with their unconditional lifetime guarantee, so you buy less and produce less waste. So all of the products produce an impact, and Darn Tough realizes that they are in the pursuit to reduce their footprint day after day. They have a list of pros and cons of their sock materials and packaging and shipping material, as well as chemicals used in their socks on their website. Go check it out. And I won't go over all the materials, but the main one, the merino wool, it's a great material. It's breathable, durable, thermoregulated, moisture wicking, everything. Yeah, it's great. But Darn Tough is committed to support and shift wool suppliers to only responsible wool, standard wool. So RWS, they started in early 2019, and basically RWS is a voluntary standard to make sure that the entire supply chain, from animal welfare, sustainable farming, and land management practices, are ethical as well as traceable. And this is a pretty large shift, and they're using up all the inventory on hand before calling themselves 100% RWS, and they'll achieve that sometime this year in 2021. They're also working on more environmentally friendly alternatives for the chemically intensive wool finishing process called a Superwash, which results in a soft finish and a resilience in the product. they never have a finish line. It's kind of cool. They will always continue to strive and get more sustainable and find more environmentally friendly practices. And they're looking to reduce and phase out virgin petroleum-based fibers, just use more recycled in the future for materials such as nylon and recycled versions, spandex, polyester. Another interesting move for their sustainability regarding the chemicals is a restricted substance list, an RSL, which is based on the chemistries and criteria set by Blue Sign, and zero discharge of hazardous chemicals, ZDHC. And those of you who are unaware of Blue Sign, it's basically an eco-label organization that certifies textiles and the process to show that they meet a certain standard in terms of their dyes or chemicals used. It's pretty similar to like the USDA organic food. They meet certain requirements that a company who gets certified, they can signify that their food meets these rigorous testing and etc. But in reality, a lot of these eco-labels are very expensive. And as we learned earlier, Darn Tough is a pretty small company, so it would be best for them to allocate their resources elsewhere. In short, Darn Tough has Blue Sign suppliers. They're very meticulous about their chemicals, and they set their own chemical standards pretty high. They meet this Blue Sign standards, but they're technically not Blue Sign certified. So this is a really great first step. Really, really great. I also want to say something about their packaging. I was very impressed with it. Just very simple, great design at its finest. No unnecessary plastics, just plain cardboard. Very nice cardboard. It's also FSC certified. So FSC wood products that come from responsibly managed forests, and they also use water-soluble glues and vegetable-based inks. So yeah, just really great sustainable practices. Some other interesting finds. Another interesting find is that one of their customers is the U.S. military. And it's kind of cool because the U.S. military is required by law to buy U.S. made goods. And Cabot is one of their suppliers for their tactical socks. Pretty cool, right? And yeah, if the socks are good enough for military use, they're probably going to hold up just well for our everyday use. Another interesting find is that, the math behind their socks. This is from the video. They are knit on 168 needle machine, fine micron count yarn that produces an average of about 1,441 stitches per square inch of a Darn Tough sock. I never would have thought of looking at a sock that way mathematically, but that's pretty cool. And this is a fun one. The Cabot sock sale. This seems like a pretty fun yearly tradition out there. Basically, it's a Black Friday, but for socks. So it's a two weekend event, and during the rifle and hunting season, people line up the early hours, like 4 a.m. or even like midnight. They just want to get the best deals, and it's mainly hunters' widows, which basically means that the significant other has gone hunting, and the other partner has other time. They have time for other activities like getting the best deals on socks for the year. So yeah, all of the socks in all categories for all ages are just heavily discounted. And the socks are, the same Darn Tough quality, but they're just stamped out at like a second rate or an irregular or just a second print. And yeah, they're all sold at a very low, even as low as half price. Ric Cabot is just very invested in this branding and PR of the company. It's just an emphasis on simplicity. Just even the name Darn Tough, if it's too complex or wordy, they want to make it very memorable and unique. And I would say this event is much more than just getting discounted high quality socks. It's more of a celebration of the employees who run Cabot. Customers get to see all the people who put in the work.